Congratulations to Liberty. They've got a unicorn of a team. They're so unique in the way they play. You don't usually see the 5'7" point guard setting ball screens for the 6'7" center, and so they put pressure on you in your scheme. It's just a very different game. They obviously came into tonight with the number 5 offensive efficiency team in the country. They were 1 in our league. Defensively, we're the best defensive team analytically coming into the game. So they just put so much pressure on you in what you're doing. And I said unique. Well, they've got their best players have been there the whole time. Matheny, it was unbelievable tonight. I mean, he made some tough shots, some shots that you're like, we guarded that pretty well. And 99 of 100 players, I'm sure their coach is saying, what a terrible shot. But for them, he makes them and had a really good night. But getting back to the point, he's played almost 90 games there. Cleveland's played 115 games there. Porter's played 120-something games there, and they've all played together. So you just see their offensive chemistry. They're on the same page without saying anything. And you get that in athletics. You get it in football, quarterback, wide receiver, they're on the same page. You get that in basketball. And, again, they're good. And offensively, they're different, and their team is different. And they've just been together for a while, and that's why they're really good. That's why they're really good. I thought we had some bright spots, had a nice stretch where we got the game back to single digits. Thought Luka Jovanovic played well again. MJ gave us some great minutes when he got in there. Sean played well. Torrey with a double-double. But when you're playing them, it's to think you can score 65 and beat them is not going to happen versus the top 5 offensive team in the country. You got to score it, and we didn't do that. Questions?
In hindsight, the defense approach of switching everything obviously did a great job of limiting that ball screen action they like to do and moving the ball around quickly, but it puts you in some compromised positions down low tonight. How do you kind of gauge that after?
Yeah, you look back. We started defending their ball screen with a hedge as opposed to a switch once they had showed they were confusing a couple of our guys. So it was like, all right, are we going to guard it one way when these 3 or 4 guys are in there and guard it a completely different way when these 3 or 4 are in there? There was a little bit of that, but also to your point about doubling the post, particularly when Cleveland was in there. He's such a good passer that who are you going to double off of? He's got good size, and he pinpoints passes. Like, he doesn't get it in the general area. We call it throwing balls and strikes. Like, he throws a strike. He doesn't pass a shooter out of a shot because he passed it up here, down at his toes. And so you come off Decker, we shoot 50% from 3. You can't come off Matheny when he's having a night like that. Porter's a 40, 50, 90 percentage guy from free throw 2 and 3. So it puts pressure. Where are you going to double off of? So, again, they put pressure on you. And then when you go to when we were in a bigger lineup, which gives you a chance for your doubles to be big, well, then they just spread it out and drive because they feel like they got a foot speed advantage. You go small, and they throw it into Cleveland. So it's hard. It's hard. That's why they're 17 or 18 and 3.
And 2, their assist numbers tonight, although it felt like a lot, you held them their second lowest this year. So I think from that perspective, you talked about Matheny just hitting key shots in big moments for him. You kept them the ball movement limited. Yeah, we were able to do that. And at times where they were decking the ball, we needed a little bit more rim protection. Some rotate over, block the shot. We had a goaltend on Torrey, but ended up with 4 blocks tonight when in that kind of a game, you're going to end up needing about 7 or 8 of them to erase a couple of those 2s. And now there's a little game pressure on them. Instead of being, down 12 late, you're down 4 late because of a couple of other block shots. So, again, it's proud of a lot of our guys' effort. But just needed to throw that thing in the bucket a little bit more.
Going back to your point about how unique Liberty is with just the amount of experience they have together,
Yeah.
for a team that doesn't have that, what do you guys do to try to match that?
Well, we told our team, I love the question, we told our team, you're not going to close that gap. You're not going to catch them. You've just got to close it, is what I told them. And a lot of that's going to be like on our end, we've got to have great communication. And that's just not the guy talking, but the guys that are listening. You know, our switches have to be quick, because if they're a second late, they're scoring. They're slipping out of the switch and getting layups, or the wrong guy goes on the slip and you've given up an easy three. And they've got such great offensive chemistry, they see that coming before it actually takes place. They see you're on the high side of him, we're getting this slip. The guy with the ball knows it, the guy going to set the screen knows it, and they get it. And so for us, you've got to try to catch it a little bit with high-level communication. The other part is what we hoped that would happen is can you cover that a little bit more with your size advantage? And there were times where they were able to just, when they saw we had our bigger lineup out there, they were really just attacking off the bounce. But the discrepancy was plus 10 on the glass. We challenged our guys. We needed to be around plus 15. So pretty good. But in their 3 losses, they've gotten beat by 11, 14, and 16 on the glass. That number needed to be a little bigger. Now, part of that's because they didn't miss any shots. I mean, they didn't get any offensive rebounds. There weren't a whole lot of them to be had.
Sean, for you guys on offense, kind of felt like you led the way, but it was a little bit more perimeter-centric for you, where it's not always working like that. Can you just talk about what you were seeing?
Really just taking whatever the defense give me, really. You know, they was heading, so I was trying to get downhill, but, you know, I was getting catch and shoot shots, so I was just, you know, taking what the defense gave me and knocking them down.
And MJ, for you, starting to work back into that rotation after coming back for the injury, can you just talk about your path back and really starting to step up off the bench for this team midseason?
Really just staying ready, waiting on my moment. Since the injury, I really just been going hard in practice, trying to work out and get minutes going into the game, and really just trying to find like where I fit in, trying to help the team win.
MJ, what part of your game do you think is earning you those minutes?
Most definitely my defense. Playing guarding the ball hard, pressuring the ball. I feel like playing passing lanes. I feel like just my defense.
Sean, if there's anyone on this panel here that's not going to take a 2-game losing streak to heart, you're going to be calm, cool, and collected moving into a big game for a lot of people here in Murfreesboro on Saturday. As a veteran on this team, how do you harness some momentum that you guys might have or create in practice tomorrow and move towards that game on Saturday?
We just got to learn from our mistakes and just be better next game, and knowing what's ahead of us, that, you know, it's more games to come, and just be better.
With two first year here guys next to you, what's the message to this team going into a rivalry game?
We talked about it. You know, we talked about it after tonight's game. You know, number one is like you don't want to over celebrate wins and get too high. You don't want to duck your head and pout for too long, because now a tough loss becomes another one. Not because of what the other team was doing, but you got your tail between your legs and not getting better. That's a hard game. It's a unique game. We poured a lot into trying to win it. So it's about being disappointed till about midnight, and then waking up tomorrow and knowing there's a big game here on Saturday. You know, we got a doubleheader for the first time since I've been here, with the men and the women versus the same team. We got WKU coming to town. The women's game is going to be a fun one. There'll be bobblehead night. Coach Insel's got about 500 of them, I think, for the 500 wins. So that'll be fun. It's always a great environment. We'll be in our road blues like we always are when we play them. So there's some uniqueness to it. Two very good teams that are separated by 100 miles. I know a lot of people around here have a little slogan, a saying they got for that, and they know it. But yeah, it'll be a fun environment. It always is. The game here, the game there, and home games mean something. You know, we got 10 of them in league play, and this is the first one in league that we've lost. So we got to protect home if you want to be towards the top. And the next one's a home game, and that's what's most important. Love the question.